What's going on, guys? My name is Jack. Welcome back to the Adobe Photoshop Masterclass course, bringing you from beginner all the way to intermediate, fully understanding the program. Without further ado, we're going to be creating a document. So, finishing off where we left off, we know we've got our recents down here, and we know because we walked through the layout, we can create a document in two different ways. Now, one of them is the most standoutish and obvious one, create new. I think it's staring us all in the face right now. We can go ahead and tap that and start creating. However, alternatively, if we are already open in a file, which means there's an image on screen and we're obviously working through it, right? So for example, what it would look like if a file was open, we can go ahead and click a file from a club I recently shot, and of course we notice that there's no create new button here. However, there is an entire area here where we can stock up multiple images, as we'll be getting to next. So if we were here and we wanted to create new, we'd simply go to file and we would do it this way. However, because we are on the start of this, we're going to actually go ahead and just press create new, as we would if we loaded up Photoshop and there was no project open. So when we load this up, we clearly have a couple different sections. We have recent items, which is tracked the various types of documents I personally, being Jack Cole, have created. Now these will appear whatever the most recent and most kind of commonly used dimensions are. So for example, if you're a logo designer, these might all be different dimensions for you. Mainly I'm doing YouTube related stuff, so you can see a lot of my files are going to be 1920 by 1080. They're widescreen usually, or they're square. You've got your 1080s by 1080, which is going to be maybe me creating a logo or maybe an overlay graphic, etc. So what you have quickly is the sort of custom details that you can input. Now, personally, when I'm actually making a brand new project, I'll literally make a customization myself. So what I'll actually do is usually I will simply just create a width and a height. So for example, right here we got 1920 by 1080, standard widescreen, normal format, right? 16 by 9. Alternatively, if we wanted to make it square, we could make it 1080 by 1080. But for the purposes of this, I'm going to go 1920 by 1080. Also, we have a background contents option. Now, usually I just go for white, but you do have, if you click on it, white, black, background color, which can be anything you want, transparent, or custom. Now, I personally usually go for black or white, just because it's a nice, simple color in the background that we can add on top of. And at any time, you can also delete the background. So if you do want the transparent, you can also access that, but white usually displays whatever I'm trying to design a little bit nicer than the transparent. So even if I'm going to use transparent later down the road, I usually select white because it's just a simple starting color. Now, stuff I also have to get to quickly is if you don't want to just customize the thing yourself, which personally I usually do because it gives you the most control. If, for example, maybe you're going for a specific dimension, whether it be an A4 sheet of paper or something that maybe you don't necessarily know the dimensions to. Now, if you did, you could always change it from pixels to inches or centimeters, whatever, and put the exact measurements in. However, there's some simpler ways to do it, and that is the presets up here. So if we go up here, we'll skip saved because I don't have many saved, which are too interesting. But we've got photo, print, art and illustration, web, mobile, and film and video. So what these are right here is presets for commonly used actual resolutions, commonly used file types, and commonly used graphics that you might be creating stuff for, right? And essentially, this is where you can fast track your process, right? So for example, if we were just to go back to print, we know that a letter right here is something we could select. We also know that A4 is a standard normal sheet of paper. If you're in college or university or whatever, when they hand you out a piece of paper, it's an A4 piece of paper. So maybe you are involved in some sort of, organization or whatever, and they tell you, what, we need an A4 graphic, and boom, they have all these sort of presets here, and of course we have view all presets for all of these sections, which open up a whole bunch more stuff. On top of that, each section has templates. Now, these templates will need to be downloaded. However, they are free, which means that, for example, if we go to web, I know there's a real good one on web. For example, maybe you're trying to do a brand pack for, whatever the new brand you're working with or even creating is. You've got access to stuff like this, the Busy Professional's Desk Mockup. If you actually go ahead and have a look, this is basically blank screens for iPhones, iPads, computers where you could superimpose your logo on there. You could throw your logo on there, and, if you're trying to do some sort of brand pack, whatever the case may be, that might be a real nice look, and it might set the tone. But let's create our document. Let's go back to recent. Let's follow through what personally I do as, a semi-veteran Photoshop user. I've been using Photoshop for, a good 7+ years at this point. So at this point, I've come up with, I've sort of narrowed down what the go-to is. And in my opinion, it's usually just to customize yourself a graphic over here. Put in the dimensions that you want. For me, it's going to be widescreen, 1920 by 1080, and go ahead and click create. And just like that, we have our brand new document done and dusted, created on Photoshop, sitting in front of us.